name's Kamel and I'm a second year student studying mathematics at the University of Warwick. Most definitely, yeah. Coming from a non-law background, one of the things I was looking for was first to just understand what are the different paths for being a solicitor and being a barrister. And that was one of the very first things that was addressed. Alexandra from St Masons gave a really good presentation outlining how to go from a training contract to kind of become an associate and then eventually a partner, and the route for a solicitor through like the GDL and the LPC. Whereas we also had Lucinda Raw give a really good presentation on what exactly a barrister is, and just tell me some things which I never really knew about barrister, where they're essentially self-employed, and it can be quite, as in they're kind of tasked with bringing their own clients and looking for their own work. So those are just two things which I hadn't really quite understood, but really kind of explained in good detail and quite early on. So the speaker I found most beneficial was the partner Claude Brown from Reed Smith. He was giving a speech on commercial awareness, and now this is something which I did not really expect there was such a focus on it being at a law firm, but really understanding how businesses work. So I found that was key, because your clients are people who own businesses or people who use banks, so you really have to understand their motivations, where they come from, and all the considerations that come with business. So his presentation kind of went through a familiar example we're all aware with, Deliveroo, and it really helped you understand the kind of motivations and the business practices behind it, and then essentially linked it back to law, which I found was really kind of all-encompassing in terms of it really kind of gave you an example of what you need to do when reading newspapers or seeing articles, and how to break it down, analyse it, and then relate it back to law, which I feel like is going to be very key for interviews and case studies. I think one key aspect running throughout this day, and it was given by Fatima, one of the partners of Sydney Austin, and it was also given by just everyone who'd been through BLD, the BLD Foundation, and managed to get a training contract, was to not put up barriers which don't exist and obstruct yourself, and to really kind of believe in yourself and have confidence, because at the end of the day, what limits you most is your own personal barriers, not like another process that there is, or not kind of the skills you're lacking. It's more about your confidence and being able to go for it and really having those ambitions and keeping them even if your confidence gets knocked by rejection. Because all these people, they've spoken about how they've dealt with rejections, and they've just used that to improve their applications and make them stronger. So what I've really taken away is how important it is not to construct arbitrary barriers, or not really kind of give myself an excuse to fail, and just kind of keep my head up and my chin up, and just make sure that if I have my heart set on something, I should pursue it as far as I can. Yeah, I definitely recommend this program to others, especially people coming from a non-law background, because it's really quite all-encompassing in telling you all the different avenues you can be as a lawyer, from a barrister to solicitor to, they even mentioned patent law or being a company secretary. And it does this all in one day, and what's more than just giving you the information, it really helps in telling you what you can take from the day and what you can start doing in your day-to-day life to really help you not just pursue a career in law, but all these things are applicable to other careers in the commercial world. So I definitely recommend it for people who still are finding their feet and really want to kind of make the next push from an interest to a strong application in law or the commercial world. Yeah, I will definitely be applying for the legal launchpad. I thought it was sold very well. Everything from the mock interviews to the negotiation to the mentor scheme. These are all things which you don't actually realise how important they'll be or how much you'll need them, because going into an interview off no practice just kind of takes away from your confidence. Or through practice, you can even find that there are certain areas you hadn't realised were a weakness, I hadn't realised they're a strength. So the legal launchpad really seems to make sure you're keeping up and constantly testing you, so you know what you can do to improve.